What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back with F1 22 My Team Career Mode, this time around for episode number 17 for the United States Grand Prix. We're heading off away close to home, and we're going to head a little bit further away into America for the US Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. Excuse me, gee, I do not feel that good today. My day has honestly been insane. I had a massive headache at work today, and I just had to fight through, and I've had to work an extra hour of overtime. So I don't know where I'm gonna spend that overtime. However, it is meant to get a little bit busier as we are heading towards the Christmas holidays, as people would want to get away. Going exploring, going on an adventure, traveling, and they're going to need some new tyres, some new rubber on their cars. So big week and a big coming up, I'd say. It's almost all hands on deck for us at work. So heading into this weekend, just going through the driver market, see who we could potentially sign if Oscar doesn't choose to re-sign with us. A couple of upgrades going on, but that is not an upgrade that's going on the car. What upgrade was that? I think that was drag reduction. Was it? No, it was rear downforce. So that's a bit unfortunate that didn't get on. But after that part gets on, we're gonna have to adapt that part just to make sure that stays on the car for next season. We do have one more upgrade going on in the car, the ECU. I'm pretty sure that's fuel efficiency. I think we'll get to that in just a second. Quick batch of resource points coming after the weekly income. We do not. Do we? Oh no, we do have enough. Sorry, we do have enough to buy that part, and that'll be on in time. Was it the next race? Was it Mexico or Brazil? I didn't see. But fuel efficiency upgrade went on to the car. Happy days. Got through practice fairly swiftly. I can't remember too much of what happened in practice, but yeah. So we're just getting through all the resource points as quickly as possible, just so we adapt these parts. I think we should be able to adapt these parts before the end of the season. Therefore, we will be able to. Well, we should be in pretty good shape come season 2. So we're going to adapt all the major parts first, and then we might adapt one minor, or actually maybe not, because we don't have enough resource points. I didn't even get a chance to finish what I was saying. So we did have enough resource points to save all those parts. That's the setup we're running with this weekend. 34-32 wings. Kota is a bit of a downforce track in all honesty. I've decided to do something a little bit different here. I want to give myself 2 laps and try and help Oscar on his flying lap. And as you can see, he's already come out of the pit lane, and there's 3 minutes and 20 seconds in counting. So we've kind of judged that a little bit wrongly. So now we're just going to get on with 2 flying laps of our own. I can't get out of the way, you spud. So you don't interrupt my lap, and I don't interrupt your lap. So you can get on with your program, and I can get on with mine. Through the S section, track limits, violation there. I feel like I take the S section, or the first sector, a little bit cheesy. Like I tend to, really reach the limits of track limits, and also abuse those limits. But catching up to Jaine, I'm hoping that he doesn't really interfere with that lap too much. However, Dirty Air may be, but look at that sun as you're facing the last corner. Very easily to miss your braking points in that sun, especially in real life. 35-2, our first banker lap, and we're going to go one more lap. We've got a ton of ERS to play with, and we're going to see how much further up the grid we can get. We are currently ahead of Oscar at the moment. He doesn't have the benefit of the slipstream along the back straight, so I hope that he can find enough time where he might find it. But we get a nice tow from Guanyu Zhou, and we are 6/10 up as we enter the third sector. I don't know what this lap is going to do for us, but it might get us close enough to Q2 the way we're tracking so far. I haven't really found too much time through all the tight tricky stuff. We're running low on ERS. However, I don't think it should be too much of a problem, because we only have to nail these corners and find whatever time that there's left on the track. The track has ramped up a little bit, unless it's just us, but we improved by 0.665. Where does it put us? 19th. Not bad for the slowest car on the grid. Not really best of the rest there. Lando Norris topping out Q1. I don't think that's going to stay the same through Q2 and Q3. But Oscar, again, he's behind Gotifi again. I think we're going to have to try and come up with a plan to help him out a little bit for the next for the last 3 races, because I really want him to stay in this team, but I want to somehow bring him closer to us, and just help him out a little bit. I honestly don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to have to find something soon, because there's 3 races to go after this, so we don't have a lot of time, and we're going to have to wrap up our plans with whatever we're going to do.
Welcome once again then to the United States Grand Prix here in the magnificent city of Austin. It was here in 2018 that Kimi Raikkonen delighted the world by taking the top step of the podium for the first time in 114 races. There's always a record to be broken, so what, I wonder, is in store for us here today? It's 10 to the left and 10 to the right. I'm not talking about a line dance, I'm talking about the corners here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and turn 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. But we may well see cars struggle to slow down here today as the wet weather interferes with the low-speed grip. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, Max Verstappen and Vettel. Russell, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Gasly, Bottas and Esteban Ocon. Tsunoda, Norris, they've taken a grid penalty. Skip and Fernando Alonso. Magnussen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Oscar Piastri, Daniel Ricciardo and Alex Albon. Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Joe and Nicholas Latifi.
Alrighty then, let's get on with this race, shall we? We are in a wet weather situation, which means that we can afford to take some fuel out of the car. We can make this car much, much lighter than what we probably could have gone. However, it is meant to dry up towards the end of the race. Whether we get to slick tyres, I'm not too sure. We'll find out in 28 laps time. 5 red lights, and we are racing here in Austin. We're starting a little bit higher up the grid as well, but let's see how far we can go this race. Can we get points somehow? Can we get a nice flowing run around the outside? We're trying to, but Tsunoda has other ideas. Yeah, didn't quite get the run like I was kind of hoping for. Both our plans still ahead of us at the moment. Very, very nice. Let's follow these guys. Norris having a little think about it. I could see the proximity arrows very, very closely. I always watch the proximity arrows close enough just so I can give the drivers behind or in front of me enough space. Depends on how you look at it. But all in all, clean first lap. Clean first sector, relatively. No spots gained, unfortunately, but now Lando is all over us. We're going to see if we can break the toe. Can we get a nice flowing ride around the outside? Maybe. Alonso gets the better run, but look at the acceleration that the AI get. Their straight line speed is ridiculous. I don't know how we're meant to fight this in Season 2. I just don't. But Lando gets us on the run to turn 11? Is it 11 or 12? I can't remember. But anyway, Lando got us. Let's have a quick look. What happened at the front of the grid. Hamilton on pole. Looks like he got away well, and he's already covering off, is that Leclerc or Sainz? I don't know. But he's in a Ferrari sandwich, is Lewis Hamilton. And he somehow gets the better run around the outside. That's what we tried to do on the finishes of the top 10. And we were a little bit unsuccessful. So it's Hamilton leading from, I had to assume it's Leclerc, Sainz, and then it's the two Red Bulls. And is that Sebastian Vettel? That's in front of George Russell? I don't know, but here's a replay of what Piastri was going through. 3 wide with both Hasses. We're on board with Ricardo, and Oscar wasn't feeling comfortable or didn't have the confidence to want to fight those guys anymore. We got back in front of Lando somehow. How did I not edit that in? Unfortunately, but he got us back. Anyway, it must have been somewhere in the mid-sector as everyone was reacting to what anyone else was doing in front of them. So we were able to get ahead of Lando, but he somehow got past us, and he's actually hit Alonso's rear tyre, and thankfully he hasn't got any front wing damage. That would have been disastrous for Lando this early in the race. So for now, we haven't made any spots so far, but we're going to try and stay with these guys as much as we can. We are running somewhat high downforce on what is a downforce track, but with the extra rain, it might benefit us somehow. I don't know what the AI are running in terms of setups, but yeah, as long as we can stay with these guys, we might be in a decent position to maybe get close to points or even get into the points come the end of the race. We're just going to have to wait and see how this race unfolds. There's still a long way to go right now. Quick gulp of fresh air and to see what was happening in front. Ocon's made a mistake. That invites us to have a look at Lando, but he kind of squeezes out. He goes defensive for turn 12. That's going to make him vulnerable to us having a lunge up the inside. And, well, he doesn't see us. He turns in on us. We were far enough up the inside. Get off me, Lando, for God's sake. But he somehow gets us. Can we find some traction on the outside? No, we can't. And Lando gets back ahead of us. And actually, not long ago, Mark told us that Ocon's actually got a problem with the car. Look at the run we get around the outside of Lando. Job done. But look at this. He just gets back in front of us. Well, he's back alongside us anyway. Are we able to stay side by side on the run to turn 11? It would be nice if we could. We're going very deep. Do we have enough traction? We've been hit from K-Mag or Lando, and we're able to skip through. So Mark told us that Lando's got a problem with something, so we're gonna have to make quick work of the two Alpines if we're gonna get away from them, because by the time that Ocon's problem is either fixed or it gets overtaken, we're gonna be vulnerable to the others behind. Here we go up the inside of Alonso, but he turned in on us. He doesn't see us. We were far enough up the inside, just like Lando, but the same thing doesn't happen. Hamilton says the fastest lap of the race. In all honesty, I think the track almost looks like it's getting... It almost looks better than what it was at the start of the race. I don't think we're too far away from it. Just look at how slow Ocon is. I really want to get past him as quickly as possible before we become vulnerable to the others. There's an overlap where there's a touch, and does he get enough of a run on us? We do have the inside for the upcoming hairpin on the long straights, but I'm not sure if we're going to hold on for this whole back straight. But we're up into P11 right now. Gasly up ahead is 6 seconds ahead of us. Fast forward down the main straight, and look at the speed that the AI have. We've outbroken ourselves a little bit. We stay within track limits very nicely, but now Alonso and Ocon having a little squabble themselves. Ocon runs a little bit... Oh no, it's Alonso that runs a little bit wide. Ocon is trying to fight his teammate. I'm not sure what the team will be thinking about this, but Alonso gets on through. That's not really what I was kind of hoping for. I was hoping for Ocon to hold the others up while I break away and create a bit of a gap. So now Alonso in that Alpine, nice track limits, is going to be all over us now, probably until the rain, or probably until the race gets to a stage where we could see a switch for intermediate tyres. But I definitely noticed that the track is definitely getting faster. A quick update on what's happening at the front. Hamilton's still leading from the 2 Ferraris and the 2 Red Bulls. He's keeping his cool out there at the moment. He is, even though he's under massive pressure from the Ferraris, but they can't really seem to stay close enough to or get close enough to lose to put him under enough pressure. Anyway, Perez is ahead of Verstappen. Nice work. It'll be Perez's home race next time at. Hopefully for him that he breaks away. Cars are now coming into the pits. I think that's Checo. It is Checo, and there's an Aston Martin into the pit lane as well. I would have to assume that it's intermediate tyres, and it is for Checo Perez, and that's Sebastian Vettel that's come in as well, and an Alpha as well off Bottas. I would have to assume that these guys are going on to Inters. Now, I was watching the pit lane very closely, but I wanted to pit at around the same time as the others were. Lance Stroll is out of the race. How good. We're going to replay on what happened. Virtual safety car, is now being deployed. This can help us a little bit here. Excuse me. So here's a replay of Stroll. Something's happened in the car and he's had to pull off, and here's the barriers for good measure. This can help us a little bit because now we're pitting under a virtual safety car, which means your time is almost minimal at this stage here. Tyres, there's a problem with one of the rears. I'm not so sure what it was. That's not great. That might not help us too much out a little bit. VSC ND. So now on this Inter, we're gonna have to try and find whatever time to what everyone else can before they make the call to go to Inters themselves. So we need to get past Ricciardo and Zhou before, or as quickly as possible, to make up any time that we've lost with one of the rears being slow on. Now this is where we're going to be strong. In this sort of slow stuff, we're going to send it on Ricciardo. Sorry mate, but I'm on a bit of a mad dash here. We're going to have to get Zhou pretty quickly as well. Sorry Danny, didn't mean to squeeze you out, but I'm on a bit of a mad dash here. Look at how slow Zhou is on the full wet tyre. We're going to set up the move, get a nice run. He'll have to go another lap because now we're side by side, and that is job done into the last turn. That's what a better tyre does for you. Daniel Rick was able to pit behind us. Oh my god, my words. So he was able to pit behind us, and he might even jump out after he makes this up. He's already 4 seconds behind us, so he's lost. He might even be 4 seconds behind Daniel Ricciardo. But the leaders haven't even pitted yet. I mean, the Red Bulls and George Russell have, I think. Or maybe not. Here comes Gasly out of the pit lane, and, well, this has not gone to plan. I thought we were going to easily jump Gasly, even though he pitted an extra lap or so after us. So that clearly has not worked out for us. Well, so now we're going to have to try and get past Gasly on just our raw pace. So we're definitely finding more time, and Tsunoda's made a mistake passing Lando Norris, but we were unable to find our way past Gasly. We might be able to. We're going to try and get the run around the outside. It'll turn to the inside for the next tricky left-hand contact with Lando. Not too bad. Verstappen 148.1. Don't know how much more time we're going to find at the end of this lap. Here we go. Great run on Lando. We're going to have to stick it up the inside very, very swiftly. Job done. No contact made. Very good. After seeing many videos that some other F1 YouTubers have done, the AI just continuously turn into you, even though it is your corner. And Lando, he's come from a long way back. What? How is he not pitted? Oh, that's because we were up the inside of the last turn. No wonder. So he'll have to stick it out another lap. Quick check on Oscar. I think he followed us in. I think the same lap or maybe another lap. Oh no, he came in at the same lap as us when the VSC came out. So now we're catching up to Tsunoda and Bottas. I think Mark came on the radio and said that Bottas has an issue as well. So everything's almost going right for us in this race. There's 11 laps to go next time by. We could be looking at P8 here at the very least here.
ETA on this rain clearing up is about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there. You're doing well. Just as
Bottas makes a mistake, we're going to see if we can shape up a move. Tsunoda, we are definitely close enough. We're going to have to send it. Tsunoda, we are comfortably up the inside, and once again, the AI just turned in on us. This is what they've done quite a bit in the latest patch that has come out. Now we're going to try and shape up a move on Bottas, but Tsunoda got a great run out of the last turn, and he's going to be all over us, and we're going to be in an Alfa Romeo sandwich as we go into turn 1, and I think Tsunoda is going to get back past us. We've had to go over those sausage curbs, and that allows Bottas to get back ahead, and we swiftly fend off Gasly and Alonso, who's been able to fight his way back into this.
10 minutes left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes. Inters seems to be the fastest tyre for now.
So it looks like Inters are still the way to go, but it looks like we could be looking at maybe a possible move to dries as we get up the inside of Yuki Tsunoda at the end of the back straight. Nice move. Leclerc's on a 40. What was that, a 40, mid 45, low 45, whatever. We're still a long way off the pace, so we're still 3 or 4 seconds off the pace, and I think Leclerc is catching Lewis Hamilton, and I think Carlos is behind the Red Bulls because he was ahead of them, but he must have stayed out that extra lap because he didn't want to box and double stack. But could he have been behind? Would he have ended up behind the Red Bulls even if he double stacked? Who knows? Now we got a great run, but we're able to catch up to him pretty swiftly. We're going to try and shape up a move into our favourite overtaking spot. We've done a massive send on Bottas, and again, it was our corner. He turned in on us, and job done. Very, very nice. With 5 laps to go in this race, I think we should be able to hold on from here on in, hopefully. And here comes Tsunoda. He's going to look up the inside of Bottas at the last turn. He's caught Bottas napping there. And, well, that's not really what I was hoping for, because a few laps later, I started to realise that we're not going to make it on fuel if we keep this pacer. So we're 2 seconds ahead of Tsunoda right now. So what I'm thinking is we could try and create a gap, and we could try and, you know, lift and coast a little bit in the last portion of the race. Because if we continue with this pace and Tsunoda closes back up, then he's going to be all over us heading into the last few laps, as Alonso has a look at Bottas up the inside at the last turn. And that is Oscar in the mix. He might be a chance to maybe score 12th or something there. I don't think it'll be enough for him to get points, but yeah, it would be great if Oscar could get close to points here. But yeah, I'm not so sure if that's going to happen with a few laps to go. He might get close to Bottas, but I don't see how he could get past the others here, or the other cars in front. One last look just to see where he is. They're the others. That's actually a shot from previously, but yeah, he wasn't that far behind, and yeah, well, as you can see, the track is massively drying out, almost time for slick tyres, and but we're on the last lap, and we are going to have to lift and coast a little bit just to make it to the end. Otherwise, Tsunoda is going to be right on our tail come the end of the line. I don't know what's going to happen, but what is going to happen is that Lewis Hamilton is going to break the deadlock and he's going to win his first race of the season. Fair play, Lewis. You deserve the win. You hung it out very, very well. And, yeah, well done. Back to live pictures. We're still holding down P8. It's under a second now to Tsunoda. But more importantly, we're going to finish ahead of Gasly, who is our rival so far right now. And it would be great if we could finish ahead of both AlphaTauris, which would be really good. We only need to negotiate this long right-hander to go. And then we need to negotiate 19 and 20, the last couple of corners. Stay within track limits. Lift and coast a little bit. We're not going to quite get into the green, but I don't think it's going to matter because around the final turn, it is going to be 4 points for CG Motorsport.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
What an unbelievable result. 4 points. That is an unbelievable result. Driver of the day. And Oscar got 13th in the end, I believe. So a decent team result.
That's it then for another magnificent United States Grand Prix. And they've hung on to take a sublime victory here today. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we could talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those that we've witnessed today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Well, Mercedes and Red Bull showing good pace towards the end of the season. Maybe they're up to the fight to fight Ferrari next season. Anyway, that didn't even make sense, did it? But yeah, Ferrari are starting to drop away a little bit. I mean, yeah, they're getting podiums, but Red Bull and Mercedes, they're starting to come back a little bit. The third win of the season for Mercedes. Of course, Russell winning 2 of them and Hamilton winning his first race. At least he doesn't go winless in the virtual world anyway. But look at that. Oscar gets 13th and finishes ahead of Gotifi for the first time in quite some time. Alonso got the fastest lap. We were nowhere near that mark anyway. But yeah, good points for the team. 4 points onto our calendar. But yeah, we didn't manage to stop Vettel from scoring more points, and he's now ahead of us. So even after all that effort, it kind of feels like it goes to waste. I don't even want to know what the constructors looks like, but yeah. And because of Vettel's points, we've been jumped by Aston Martin. Amazing. Truly amazing. Well, we've got a long road to get this car where it belongs for quite, well, it's not going to be for quite some time anyway. But as long as we can keep developing our car, and if we can get the absolute maximum out of this car somehow in the last 3 races, it's going to have to take something quite remarkable for that to happen. Well, I'm not even sure if Oscar would like to stay, because he's been driving a bit of a shitbox, in all honesty. But you know, I don't blame him for driving an absolute shitbox. But if he wants to be a world champion, he's gonna have to try and slug it out with the car that he has until we can get this car towards the front. I really hope that he stays for the entirety of this career mode journey. It would be nice if he could stay, especially with the result that he had today. As long as he can get some confidence out of this, I just hope that he can perform better than what the car is giving him at the moment. I really hope that that's the case. And if not, we do have some backup options for season 2. Honestly, there's not really much to say after the races these days. It's all about getting to the end of the season, basically, and just getting all the parts adapted for the reg changes, and you know, not losing too much, or not losing as much as possible, which is it's obviously the aim when you've got regulation changes coming in. You really want to save the resource points, you really want to save the cash, you really want to save a lot of things these days. But you know, you have to save and invest those bits as you go along, and yeah, it's not easy to do, but if anyone can do it, we certainly can. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you need to see plenty more F1 and racing game contents. There will be more videos coming out very soon. Different F1 content videos coming out very soon, or in the very near future anyway. But stay tuned for that. And until the next one, for the Mexican Grand Prix, I will see you guys next time.